Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Yes, on the troll. Hello, and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to definitely deliver what happened to Senzo's case. Despite that, we cannot ignore the news on the streets of some names that are familiar being thrown around. And people are sweating in court. At the Madlanga Commission. Mboto name was thrown around. Who else?
I heard a Mukwena.
Mukwena, yes, was thrown around. Ayoninethi izakancane nethi eventually izovala.
They're saying that General Mboto is mentioned in the Madlanga Commission as a person who instructed Brigadier Mukwena to deploy the Hawks team to go to Katiso Molefe's house during his arrest. They're saying that this is the very same Mboto that is being mentioned in the case who took SBIYA's confession in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. So that's interesting.
And all is alleged. That's what we always say to protect ourselves. We don't know. Go find it out. But basically, that's what is happening. It begs the question, if it is true, what is being said here about this Mboto being the same Mboto, as to then what are the minions going to defend? Because, I mean, honestly, if you are found in the middle of such cartel, what else are you capable of doing? That's a question that we keep on asking as to what else. Aye, kancane amagama yeza. Don't worry. Zizokhala nje kamnandi. Noma ungatreka, noma ungaslow, noma ungafast. But what we can say is that slowly but surely, kancane sizophumelela. Hisikusele kancane. Hisikusele kancane. Hisikusele kancane. Kancane sizophumelela. His sisho njalo sithi nje sekusele kancane. Wait and see. Last year you thought it was an expose. This year has more than that. It's gonna come slowly. I'm telling you, the net is closing. Many people are gonna go jobless. Many people are gonna have to find new security. Many people are gonna lose the power that they thought they had. This year is not done. It's not done by any means. It's not done. It's coming, but it's coming so slow.
Another interesting thing here, they're saying that DPCI did not only assign the Hawks officials, but they deployed a helicopter to KT Molefe's home.
For KT Molef.
A helicopter. To make things worse, according to Captain Mukwena from DPCI, he deployed 2 members, so he cannot account for the 4 vehicles and 8 additional members.
And
there's an allegation as well that they knew that the arrest was going to take place and it was going to be done by professional or by police. They knew that that was about to happen, which makes everything worse. It means whatever Libya was saying about him receiving a complaint that they were fake police officers needs to be investigated.
Ziyakhala bafethu ziyalila. Abantu abakheshe out kuimpesheni abanempesheni makungenzeka. Cash it out. It's happening. It's bizarre. That's what they say. These people only bekanyela, but it's bizarre. Really, it is bizarre. What do you call that? It is happening. We don't know who is who in the zoo, But clearly, luyasefulwanle, we get to see the pure water and the dirty one. Slowly but surely. We don't know who's who. We hope that you are on the right side. That's all we hope for.
Hawks yona ay. Hawks ay kona. This is too much.
Asazi.
Abanye bathi bathola ma promotion on the day before Katiso Molefe was arrested. They were promoted to brigadiers and generals. Kanjani manje? On the 5th of December, people were getting promotions. On the 6th, the arrest is happening. Helicopters are flying. Hawks versus PKTT and GCI.
All he wanted was his dog.
All he wanted was his PKTT.
All he wanted was his dog. Now, John Wicker has unleashed.
Yo! Hey! Yeah! But when it comes to Senzo's case, everything is unraveling before our eyes.
Others, they don't even want to stop cross-examining one person. It's tough.
Question A1 for the entire week. One question over and over and over and over again.
Rafe. Ngiyakutshela julu indoda julu ikhali julu impande esule ngetowel. Rafe pressure is inside and outside. All is happening.
Abanye ama rope akazi kwenze njani.
Asas angazi abanye kuthiwa ama rope kanjani kodwa asas.
Why? Why is that rope like that, please? I've been trying to ignore it. Maybe it was a Monday. Maybe it's a Tuesday. Go take it and wash it, please. Woo! Take that rope. It needs to be washed.
Yes.
It's bothering me.
Yes, Mayana ndanganeni. Enda varimini. Urinindi one. I hope you are doing well too, Mr. Ano and Emily. We are. It's traveling. It's happening in front of us. That's all we are doing. We are just watching and we are saying, let the pressure be in and out, such that when you say, let me out, and then when you are out, you want to go back in.
Even if it was impersonators arresting KT on the 6th, a helicopter, 8 officers, that quick, at the 11th hour. Hokonala mara.
Ziyakhala, loudspeaker. Kancane bayavela.
And then there's a Kruger. A Kruger by the surname Kruger. He is throwing everyone under the... It's like he's been waiting for this moment.
Let them go. You know what I like about them? Abaswilisi phiri bathuba.
Ne?
Abanyakuswa lisiphiri bathuba. Kawujwetsa gore they are going to unleash.
Kruger is not here for it. Kruger is the tela oka file.
The tela ma boom. That's what I like about them. You can do whatever that you want to do. But bathuba abaswilisi phiri mfana. Bega sick.
And then another thing, there's a Captain Maxwell Wanda who says that Katiso Molefe's bodyguard Lehasa Moloi told him that Police Minister Senzo Mchunu and Katiso Molefe are friends.
Always alleged. Right.
From the Madlanga Commission, of course.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Oh, it's from Madlanga Commission.
Yes.
All right. Zinjali izinto ziyakhala. Ziyakhala. Right. ake sibayeke asize ngapha Emily.
Another one. Minister. Okay, there's a deputy minister of police by the name of Kessel Matale. He was testifying at the ad hoc committee. I think it was yesterday. I think it was from
Indeed,
Monday.
it was yesterday.
Yeah.
From Monday until yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, turns out it was now time for his cross-examination, and CIC did not show up. But he was not there.
Okay.
And there's a footage of him being pulled now from last year during his birthday. Kessel Matale is at CIC's house wishing him a happy birthday.
Okay. Angitholakala Paul. Asiqhubeke.
I just thought I'd give you the tea. No, that's tea. So
It is
court
indeed.
resumed this morning with BALOYI saying that yesterday an issue arose regarding the SAP 14 cell register. Advocate Nisi inquired as to whether accused number 4 was one of the 3 prisoners that are being referred to. BALOYI said that they obtained the register, and he has informed Advocate Nisi that both of them will go through the register just to satisfy themselves about the issues that were debated yesterday. So once they've reached a consensus, then they'll place it on record. So now the judge said, yeah, because Mr. Mnisi was asking me, okay, whether those were 2 or 3 people that were incarcerated, and did they include the accused who's standing there before court, meaning SBIYA. So how can a judge know that when evidence is being led? Throwing shade. So the judge asked BALOYI to place the register on record, and BALOYI said Mnisi had not seen it. They just received it about 5 minutes ago. So BALOYI now proceeded with the issue of the car he was in. So literally, in summary, he brought their receipts. He brought evidence to back up that one of the accused persons that they said were detained awaiting trial was SBIYA, and is giving Mnisi time to peruse through it. So we'll find out later exactly what is in that file. BALOYI then proceeded with the issue of the car he was in after being booked out. SBIYA was in after being booked out on the 30th of May 2020. And yesterday SBIYA said he was in a Nissan Qashqai. And SBIYA said that yesterday he asked the court for more time to remember properly. So he said he does remember what happened when they got to that township with Mokhula. And BALOYI said that on the 20th of November that she met SBIYA at Ayrton in the company of Sergeant Mokhane. This is the record that he was reading of the 20th of November 2024. When Mokhula was testifying, she said that they met SBIYA at Ayrton in the company of Sergeant Mokhane. She said she believes that he was transported in a white Fortuner, a vehicle that was used by Sergeant Mokhane at the time. Mnisi said that Mokhula said, I believe it was a white Fortuner. He said that must be noted. So BALOYI asked SBIYA if he still insists that he was transported in a Nissan Qashqai, and SBIYA said that the motor vehicle that he was transported in is a Nissan Qashqai. While BALOYI read SBIYA's evidence when he was led by Mgomezulu on the 5th of September or the 5th of February 2024. He asked him what happened on the 31st of May 2020, and SBIYA said they took him to a white Fortuner, or they took him with a white Fortuner that was driven by Mokhane. And he said that now SBIYA was deviating away from that evidence. SBIYA said, yes, he can say that, but what happened is that what he's saying, he said that what he's saying, he cannot say it's different or is a difference in the vehicle that he was transported in. In the trial, within a trial, he did say it's a Fortuner, but now he's saying it's a Nissan Qashqai. Qashqai, right, Mr. Anonymous? So he says, when I say it's a Nissan Qashqai, it's because I remember exactly what car I was in. In the trial within a trial, he says that he did not know exactly which cars were there. So he also did not have the time to sit down and really recall what exact car he was transported in on that day. Mohani and crew were the ones who were transporting him. Right? So in my point of view, my opinion, it means that all the occasions they used to transport him with different cars.
Yeah.
So he could not remember on that particular day, the 30th, which car he was in. Because sometimes he did use the Fortuner. That's my view. Because there's a time they took him to KZN, they took him to a lot of places. So maybe they didn't use the same car at all times when they transported him.
I mean, it's pretty much obvious. And the car was there in any case. It doesn't mean that it was not there.
So sometimes it could have been a Fortuner,
It's a
sometimes
repeat
it could have
of
been a
yesterday,
Qashqai.
indeed.
So either Munareng or Mabena drove that Qashqai because Mohani drove the Fortuner. So between these two, SBIYA said that the Qashqai was silver in color. He was actually correcting the interpreter because the interpreter had added that the color of the Qashqai was white, which is not what SBIYA said. So he was correcting him and said actually it was silver. So SBIYA even said that even now, if you follow the AVL of the Fortuner, if you find an area where there were cameras, it will reveal that Qashqai. As I say that I was in that Qashqai, I recall correctly now. So he's even challenging them to go and look. I think they've got AVL. Maybe there are other buildings, that have footage from way back then, but I doubt it now. But the real powerful people keep such archives from many years ago. They don't delete anything. The real powerful people of this world. Some can get people to retrieve. To retrieve from the archives. So it's not the same. This thing has levels. BALOYI went to the evidence of Gininda on the 28th of November 2023, where he testified that accused number 1 was with Constable Munareng. They arrived back from Diepkloof. Gininda said they handed SBIYA to him and he asked him if he was fine and if he had any complaint. He said he was willing to go and point out the witch doctor that came up in that discussion. And he said he indicated to SBIYA that Mohula with some of the members will come to him the following day to follow up on that witch doctor investigation, and that it should, feel the changes, that he needs assistance or legal representation or whatever concern he may have. Then if he did not, but he also said he advised him that he could get an attorney as well. At this point, I didn't know the relevance of this part of evidence. Is it to emphasize that his rights were read to him? Even if he does emphasize them, it's not going to change his testimony. He's saying they didn't read him his rights. So what is he hoping to achieve by repeating that they read your rights, they read your rights, they read your rights, they say they read your rights, they say you read your rights? What is he hoping to get? Because even towards the end of the proceedings, he was hammering on it again. They said they read your rights. This time around, he was using the Tembisa case. I don't know, guys. I want him to sit down. It's enough now. It's enough. This is torture. This is not. So SBIYA said that everything Gininda is saying is a lie and is not true. He says he met with Gininda at Vosloorus and they went to Deep Kloof, from there to Valeria. All the police officers who accompanied him from Vosloorus to Valeria, from Deep Kloof, he says he was taken to Valeria, and what Gininda is saying is false, and that he did not know any Nyanga, that traditional healer that is being spoken about there. So BALOYI said that the final aspect that is still outstanding from yesterday's cross-examination was about the fact that Brigadier Gininda and Mboto are friends, and he also attributed improper motive. He went to the proceedings of the 28th of November 2023, where Gininda said Colonel Mboto requested him to bring the accused to Deep Kloof in SAPS. He also said that Mboto was not privy to the investigation as he was never a part of it, nor did he brief or work with him previously. So if that's the case, then who appointed Mboto to be the one to take the confession if he was not briefed? Was he briefed by a ghost? How did he know SBIYA is coming and he has to take his confession since Gininda did not speak to him or brief him?
He just spoke through the phone. Gininda said you called Mboto.
So now they are saying that he did not brief him. That's the part I don't understand.
I think the briefing part is to get into the nitty-gritties of the case. The merits of this confession. That's what they want to say. I mean, that's what Gininda was saying. He said he called Mboto for assistance because there's a person who wants to confess. That is how they want to put it, to say there was no conversation beyond that.
So SBIYA's response was that he believes that Colonel Mboto knows because he asked him what he knew about Senzo's death, and he told him that he did not know anything about Senzo's death. He was not briefed. So BALOYI now said that he was coming to the issue of Magwaza. SBIYA started afresh the narrating of what actually happened on that day. He said he met with Mogola at Vosloorus at the municipality area that he pointed out to the court, and when they left, the cars headed towards the side of Thokoza. Thokoza is a township, and they arrived at a township that he doesn't know. He says they entered the location and then stopped. Then Mogola came towards him, asking him that he shows him where the Nyanga they used after killing Senzo lives. And he said he told him that he knows nothing about any Nyanga and he knows nothing about Senzo's death. There is no traditional healer that he says he's ever used. He says now that Mogola left the car and came back with his phone. So she asked him to put his pin on that phone of his, and after his phone was unlocked, she then returned to her car, which is a Golf something, with this phone, or the phone that belonged to SBIYA. So SBIYA said that, as he stated, he doesn't know what she did once she got into her car. For her to get Magwaza's number, he says that she must have went through the contact list on his phone. She then came back to the Qashqai that he was kept in and told him that the number that they wanted, they found it. Interesting. She came across the name Magwaza, I suppose, and she thought, that's the person we're looking for. That's the Nyanga right there. Magwaza must be a But then it's also very confusing because SBIYA is saying that he did not even have Magwaza saved as Magwaza in his phone. He said he didn't store him as a contact name. It was just a number. So SBIYA at that stage, she says that Mogola returned to the car and then they all left, and then he noticed that they were entering Soweto. But Baloyi then asked, "Is not what you said yesterday? You said you were going to think about how long she took after she had gone to the Red Golf to come back to you." Well, SBIYA said that what he wanted to think about was where and when she told him that she had found the nyanga that she was looking for. She told him while they were still there, and she did not take long. Even though he did not have a watch, she said it was not a long time. What she did was to phone. She did a phone call apparently, and then came back to him.
Yeah.
Now, this is the part where they have to look for that phone call that was made allegedly to Magwaza on that AVL record of Muzi.
No, it's not saying, he's not sure whether it was made through his phone.
Or maybe they used their own phones. Okay. So Baloyi then said, "You state now that you believe that she scrolled through your phone, your contact, and came upon the name of a traditional healer." Ramasipili said that this is not correct. He said she came across the number of Magwaza, not the traditional healer. So Baloyi then rephrased it. So SBIYA said yes as a response to the question that Baloyi had asked concerning that they're saying that she scrolled and she came across the number of Magwaza. Baloyi was wanting to place Magwaza on record as the traditional healer. Baloyi then said, according to you...
And where does placing Magwaza helps?
I don't know. This entire thing is not going to the bottom of the actual case. It's like we're still in the trial within a trial. The state is still stuck there. They don't want to move on to actually cross-examining about what happened 26th of October 2014. Bafuno.
Look, it's not about what happened only. It's about what has transpired in that house that they need to inquire about, which is not there. There is really nothing.
The state is not interested in finding out what happened.
The state really wants to find out what happened.
No, it's just
nothing.
Protecting the reputation of police. So Baloyi then said that according to you, how would she have associated you with Magwaza? SBIYA said, "I can't answer for her, but my view is that she found a number on my phone of a person she thought she was looking for. Then she called it. For me to speak for her and say how she came to that conclusion to call Magwaza, I would not be able to do that." Then Baloyi then said, "But Mr. SBIYA, I suppose you had many contacts on your contact list. Is that not so? Now, how would she specifically go to the name of Magwaza?" SBIYA said, "Because I say I cannot speak on her behalf. She's the one who came to this court and explained how she got to selecting Magwaza's number out of the many phone numbers on that phone." So Baloyi then said, "Yesterday we put the preposition of Mr. Mgomezulu on the of the 22nd of November 2023 when cross-examining Sergeant Mohola Mgomezulu, where he said that Mohola scrolled his contacts and came across the name of Mkulu. And SBIYA said that his phone, there's no number that was stored as Mkulu. Even his own grandfathers, he said he did not store their numbers as Mkulu. Mohola is the one who can come and explain why she called Magwaza's number." The judge said that Mr. Baloyi is talking about Mkulu and not Magwaza, and he says that your counsel mentions that Mkulu is contacted. SBIYA said that he's still maintaining that in his phone there is no number written Mkulu, and the number they called is that of Magwaza, and he did not even save Magwaza's number with a name. And they also drove to Soweto where Magwaza stayed. So this preposition by your counsel, Advocate Baloyi, says Mr. Mgomezulu is wrong. SBIYA said Mgomezulu was asking Mogola questions while she was on the witness box. So as to what strategy he was using to cross-examine Mogola, I cannot speak on that. But what I'm saying is that on my phone, there's a number saved as Mkulu. There's no number that is saved as Mkulu. And the person they called was not Mkulu, but Magwaza. BALOYI then said, he said, that is your version. And SBIYA said, but I am standing on the witness box. I am explaining that in my phone, there is no number that was stored as Mkulu. And there has never been a person they called from my phone called Mkulu. The person they called was Magwaza. And he says that afterwards the cars left for Soweto where Magwaza resided. Well, Mnisi stood and said that the state is indicating that Mr. Mgomezulu put it on record when he cross-examined Ms. Mogola that it was SBIYA's version when Mogola scrolled SBIYA's phone and he found the name Kulu. And Mnisi was saying that he's hearing the state saying that that was Mr. SBIYA's version. And he said he's not so certain about that. Maybe the record should speak for itself as well, that the version of accused number 1 is as BALOYI is saying it. Well, BALOYI said that they read verbatim what Mgomezulu said, and he proceeded to read the line again. You know, I saw people are having a feeling that these records, they may not be... I'm tired to go and check, but I also have the feeling that I need to check if what he's saying is what was said, because wow. So a lot of people are like, the way he's pulling these records, they can not be as accurate as he's reading them in that court. So the defense has a lot of work on their hands. They need to go to every single, especially Mnisi for the re-examination. He has to go and revisit some of these records because something is not right. Then BALOYI read the 21st of November 2023 when Mgomezulu put it to Mogola that accused number 1 will deny that because he instructed him to say that his phone was switched on and she made a call to a person who reflected on his phone book, you know. Yeah, so Mgomezulu told Mogola that she called that person who gave them the directions to Dobsonville, where she's also realized that the person was also the nyanga of accused number 1. Now, the judge said BALOYI must read slowly because he wanted to understand what he was saying. He's the one encouraging BALOYI to read slowly. Yeah! Icon. Is that Anonymous? Had to read slowly, please.
It's so that you can write.
Is he not reading slowly enough already? Well, SBIYA said, let me put it like this. The prosecutor recently also made a mistake by referring to line 24, talking about a polo. Then after they found that it was not line 24, it was line 40 something when he came back. And he said he made a mistake. So unfortunately, Mgomezulu is no longer here to explain himself as to how he understood what I told him. Just like I'm saying that the person who directed the police to where Magwaza resided is me. When we arrived in Soweto, they were not directed by a person over the phone, because when we got to Soweto, they said that I should direct them to where Magwaza stayed. I'm the one who showed them where Magwaza resided in Dobsonville. As I already mentioned, I don't have a number stored as Mkulu on my phone, and the person that they called is not Mkulu but Magwaza. When they got to Soweto, Mabena is the one who told me to direct them where Magwaza was staying. I then took them to where Magwaza resided. I don't know Magwaza is a traditional healer. Well, BALOYI then said your comment about the passage is in fact wrong. Speaking about the lines. And that is on record, but we'll leave it at that. And then SBIYA said that I was saying this because the prosecutor said out of his own mouth that they made a mistake. It was line 24 when it was not. Ngomezulu, if he was still alive, he would explain how he understood me when I explained to him. Good point. Valid point. I mean, how can you deny that? He did make a mistake, even though he's trying to make it seem like he did not. He did. It wasn't line 24, it was line 48. He's just betting on Mshololo having taken ownership, became the bigger person and said she's the one who made a mistake. But no, she did not. He did say it was line 24 and came back and said it's actually line 48.
We are bound to make mistakes, man. You can be perfect.
You can't. So BALOYI then said, we'll leave it at that because you are completely wrong. That is not what happened. Well, SBIYA said, but I'm saying it happened exactly like that. So BALOYI then said, I see that you're making it your best endeavor to distance yourself from the name Mkhulu. And SBIYA said, I repeat, there's no one I know by the name of Mkhulu. Angmaz mina lo mkhulu lo ngitshela ngaye angmaz. Well, BALOYI then said, you have just mentioned that Magwaza is not a traditional healer. SBIYA said I do not know Magwaza as a traditional healer. BALOYI read when Ngomezulu said that he immediately contacted that person who he later learned as Magwaza, who is the Nyanga that accused number one is using. That's why, Giri, I think I have to go back. We have to go back to the record. We have to go back. There's some twisting here that's happening. Why can't I remember this? I just feel like these versions are so twisted. Like, I don't remember Ngomezulu putting it like that. Nah, I don't. And I have to go back and refresh before I throw accusations. Well, SBIYA still maintained that he does not know Magwaza as a Nyanga and he is not his traditional healer. BALOYI asked if he was distancing himself from the preposition of Ngomezulu, and SBIYA said he was on the witness box to testify only what he knows. SBIYA said that the relationship between him and Magwaza was that of a normal relationship and he only got used to him from January 2020. And BALOYI said that Mohola testified that they carried out an investigation there at the house of Magwaza and then they left for Palm Ridge. SBIYA said when they arrived, they assaulted Magwaza. BALOYI asked why was he assaulted, and SBIYA said they can respond. They can come to court and respond as to why they were assaulting him. Well, BALOYI said, but in your explanation, there was absolutely no reason for them to assault him. Well, SBIYA said, but they did assault him. And BALOYI said, is it correct that after some time, or after some investigation there at the house of Mr. Magwaza, you were put into a vehicle? And SBIYA said that after they assaulted Magwaza, they spoke to him and said, yes, we returned back into the vehicle. So it means bona their investigations are assaulting people. Atama investigation abongathi ukushaya abantu. SBIYA is tired, okay? He's tired. He has reached a point where he's tired of all these shenanigans. And I had no idea that they even assaulted Magwaza. Ubabulayin ZWANE was crying about that.
Yeah, they are shy in Zizo. That's what police do. In Zizo, they are shy.
But if you the only thing you're using ukshay, do you have, because if you have evidence, is there a need ukshay? Ikon.
There's no need.
But you don't have much. And that's not ideal. You want to present someone with something before you accuse them, right? You must have proof. Abana lento enzakalayo ngomkhwanazi kunama WhatsApp messages, kuna something. The moment you start beating people, you don't have much. When you're trying to get it from them. Which is why most cases are solved by confessions in this country. That's not right. It means investigation skills are a wishy-washy. So SBIYA said Magwaza used to reside in Dobsonville and he doesn't know about now. BALOYI said that the AVL report indicated that on the 31st of May 2020 at about 3:20, I even remember, maybe it's just only these special task teams that work like that. If you don't have evidence on somebody or you know that getting evidence on them is going to be tough, that's where the setting up to finding them on the scene type of situation happens. Right? Where now you are having people that you are plotting and planning with the crime and they are snitching to the police. And then when you go and do the crime, you are busted. Evidence in 3D. That's what happens when you can't quite get the evidence in a manner that you want. Yabo? That's usually how it happens. Because when you get to court, you're trying to avoid stuff like this. Stuff like what is happening now in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, where you look at the evidence, is not evidencing. But you are hearing people are complaining that they were beaten up. So BALOYI said that the AVL report indicated that on the 31st of May 2020 at about 3:20, they were near Jonas Moabi Street in Dobsonville, Soweto. He asked if that was the time they arrived in Magwaza's place, and SBIYA said he did not have the time with him. So BALOYI went through the AVL of the Fortuner. It indicated that the ignition was switched at Jonas Moabi Street, Dobsonville, Soweto. You then said you went to a township you did not know. Is that correct? And SBIYA said yes. And you say it was a double-story house and they parked underneath a shelter. Where's BALOYI getting all these aspersions?
They add them sometimes.
I'm like,
relieve
I don't
what
remember.
is
Double
being said.
story. SBIYA said no. Maybe he should explain to the prosecutor again if they did not write it correctly in their notes. Well, BALOYI flipped through his papers there and said that the note he has is that they took me to a double-story house. Motor vehicle stopped under a shelter. Other motor vehicles came and parked near the motor vehicle. Police officers go out of the motor vehicles and went into the double-story house, and they took some time there. And he asked if that was not SBIYA's evidence. Well, SBIYA retold the whole story. He said, let me put it how I placed it. The way the prosecutor is saying is not how I said it. He said when they got to Dobsonville, the police found Magwaza and pointed him with guns and made him to sit down. They slapped me. He says they slapped him, right? After putting him inside the car, they then took him back to the car. After some time, the police officer now came and then they left with Magwaza still inside his house. So BALOYI then said, Mr. SBIYA, we are talking about the period after you left Magwaza. Then SBIYA said, I want to explain it to you well. I think ngifuna ukuza nayo kahle. They then left. After leaving Magwaza's place, he said they passed by a certain place in Soweto. They bought food and they ate. These are the police officers. Then they left that place and went back to a location, and he said that he did not know that location. The cars parked in different streets. The car that he was traveling in and the other cars went to a certain building that had an upstairs. That's where they parked in a parking that had a shelter type of parking. And after some time, the police officers left there, arrived. They also entered that building as well. But that is what BALOYI was saying, that is what they just put to him. But you were talking about a double-story house while he's talking about a building. A building is a flat, right? An apartment complex of some sort. So I don't think it's the same thing. Well, BALOYI said, but that is what we have just put to you. What's wrong with the proposition that we've put to you? And SBIYA said the prosecutor says we arrived at a location and went to a double story and a parked shelter. So it's not the same thing. SBIYA said it was a building and not a double story house like how BALOYI had placed it in his notes. Well, SBIYA said that after the cars left for Germiston, where the cars went parking underneath or beneath the flats, BALOYI asked him if they went to the house of Mr. Lionel ZWANE at Palm Ridge in Katlehong on that day. Well, SBIYA said, like I said, I don't know Lionel ZWANE's house. I was never at Lionel ZWANE's house. And BALOYI asked him, are you saying that on the 31st of May 2020, you were never at the house of Mr. Lionel ZWANE? And SBIYA said, I'm saying I don't know Lionel ZWANE's house and I've never went to it. So BALOYI then went to the AVL on the 31st of May 2020 at around 17:46:10. Toyota Fortuner was driving near Palm Ridge Road in Palm Ridge, Katlehong. And at 17:46:41, the ignition was turned off near Palm Ridge, Katlehong. And Sergeant Mogola testified that you are the one who took them to this particular house. Well, SBIYA said that, as I've said, I don't know ZWANE's house and I don't know ZWANE. If they were saying I'm the one who took them there, then how come they took my phone and called someone in Soweto? Then they spoke to Magwaza, who they said is not the person they are looking for. If they are saying I did this according to my will and not, or voluntarily, and not doing as they wanted me to do, if they knew ZWANE, then I would have taken them straight to ZWANE. But because I knew nothing about ZWANE, that is why they took my phone and called whoever they called and went to Soweto, to Magwaza, and went to that location I do not know. And he says that I did mention that I saw ZWANE for the first time when he was testifying in court. Even though ZWANE did not know who I was, he was made to talk about SBIYA. He failed to point at me, and I don't know him.
Angithule ngoba, but let me let you continue. This is just a reputation, man. Let it just roll without this is just a disturbing situation. We can talk about it again and again. This is just repeating one thing.
Hi, SBIYA is a strong man. I respect SBIYA. Our Miss Popola would have been pissed by now. Okay? They couldn't take it. 5 days of a prosecutor. Kungcono if it's different lawyers, just like it is with the defense, because you know they can go a maximum of 1 day or 2 with you. But 5 days, repeating one question over and over, different ways, different styles, different parts of the records, different, and then he reads the whole record. He reads about 5 pages of. Amen. Well, Mogola also said that when they arrived there, accused number 1 is the one who pointed at the house. SBIYA maintained that he did not know ZWANE nor his house. Mogola also said SBIYA confirmed whom Kulu was to them after they asked him if he knew him. SBIYA denied this. He reiterated that if he's the one who showed them Kulu's house, then why did they need to call someone to start in Soweto? The way they did it indicates that they were searching, wanting someone to to create a story with. BALOYI said that on the 4th of September 2023, Mr. ZWANE said he was working at Palm Ridge Extension 4. Asked if he knew the accused before court, he said that the one he knew was SBIYA. SBIYA said ZWANE was saying what he was saying. If they really knew each other, because he was told to talk about a SBIYA in court. ZWANE would never say he saw me in 2014, then 2015 passes, 2016, 2017, 18, 19, and 20, and then say he's able to see me in 2023, where he says I was cuffed both hands and feet, when I was never cuffed at the feet. He failed to testify after a few years after the incident, and then he failed to point at me in the witness box to say that this is SBIYA, the SBIYA I was talking about.
Very good points. Very sorry to say that there is holes among this case that they are facing. The things that are happening, I mean, I can't even argue any further when it comes to the issue of how he put it. He's correct. You can't forget someone, remember them in a long term, and then forget them when it's short term, to remember, because you have met them in any case. Now it makes it a shorter period. Should be easier to actually confirm the same people. So the fact that he was not pointed, it means someone whispered. And by the looks of things, at this point in time, there were only police who knew that they are working on this case. So he's really raising a very, very sharp point.
Well, BALOYI read that on the 20th of November 2023, the record says where Mukhola said she jumped into the Fortuna and sat next to Muzi. They, Mohane Sadiki and Buthelezi, came out with Mkhulu in the car, and it was her, Sergeant Mabena and Muzi, and she said they saw Mkhulu through the window. So she was narrating a story where she went and sat next to an accused person in the car and closed the door and the windows with Mohane at the front seat. She's saying it was the Fortuna where this happened. And then ZWANE was brought to the window of the car. And then Muzi pointed and said, yes. They asked him, Muzi, do you know this man? And he said, yes, I know him. While Babu ZWANE's version is different. Babu ZWANE is saying, there are two police officers who came and they said they wanted to consult, and he refused to open for them because it was late, and he told them he's closed, that he's not working at this time. They didn't go away. He said next thing he heard a lady's voice saying Mkhulu, 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 and then he went closer, and then when he went closer, he now saw a lot of police vehicles. A lot of police vehicles outside of his house at the gate, and they told him to open, and he opened. And BALOYI was saying the versions coincide. Well, let me go through it. Well, she said they saw Mkhulu through the window and asked Muzi if this was the Mkhulu he referred to, and he said he was the one. They were there at around 7, and she said she ran after them and introduced herself to Mkhulu, and she said she would place him under detention for the purpose of questioning him about his knowledge in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. SBIYA said what Mukhola said is a lie. He never saw Mkhulu nor went to his residence. BALOYI said on the 4th of September 2023, where Lionel ZWANE said they came back at the company of the police, he then said no, it's actually the police police who came had impersonated themselves as patients. Yes, that's the part I forgot. He said that they were impersonating themselves as patients who needed consultation or spiritual examining. He says he told them he was not consulting at that time. He was closed, and the two police officers, Nisi, at this point, he stood up and said that he doesn't know where this access was taking this to. If it's the state's argument that Mr. SBIYA on the day saw Mr. Lionel ZWANE, then they need to put it to Mr. SBIYA. And if the argument is that Mr. ZWANE, when he testified, pointed out to Mr. SBIYA, let them put it to Mr. SBIYA rather than putting a whole record as is. All this information he said is on record. Otherwise, we'll be here until Jesus comes back. No, I think that's the situation right now. I think you are going to be there until Jesus comes back. And I think you're going to be there for that long. I don't think he wants to move. I don't think so. So BALOYI said that he's not going to take shortcuts. He said it's important to put details of what the witnesses are saying as to what happened at the house of Mkhulu. This is like 2 or 3, 4, if we are lucky, pages of him reading the record. Well, the judge said that he can't tell the state how to proceed, unfortunately. And I'm thinking to myself, had it been any of the defense counsel doing this,
they would have been told.
Yeah, he would have said, where are we going? Where are we going? Mr. Mnisi, where are we going? Mr. Mnisi, where are we going?
But when it's state, cannot tell them.
Yeah. Or Ati, this witness has answered that question already. Come on now, please. That witness has answered that question already. None of that has happened. So, and then you hear people saying, the defense is the reason why this case is taking so long. Here's the person who doesn't want this case to end. Nyambona na. Are you seeing him? Or like we always do. Akafuni ukuthi iphele case. Kafuni. But I said that he also wanted to show the similarities of the evidence of ZWANE and Mkhulu, even though there are no similarities, because ZWANE said there was a female police officer shouting Mkhulu, 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 because he did not open for those two police officers. He says that when he got to the gate, the vehicles were packed. Then he opened the gate. Mkhulu said they handcuffed him and took a picture of him and showed that picture to somebody else. And that particular person would then say who he is. Mkhulu Gututen. Was it they took a picture of him? They were telling him that this picture, we're going to use it for someone to identify you. Right? And then he said that they took pictures of him handcuffed in the streets. Right?
Parading Mkhulu.
Can Mkhulu sue? Gabuz.
Look, it doesn't matter. Let's continue. I mean, I
told a bag nyana. Well, at the police station, SBIYA said he doesn't know all that is written there. It's all lies. ZWANE also does not know him. He first saw him when he was in court. BALOYI continued to read the entire record of the 20th of November, 2023. Mkhulu said he informed ZWANE that he will now take him to Johannesburg at their offices. So they couldn't take him to any police station near Palm Ridge. They couldn't?
No.
So BALOYI said that this aligns with ZWANE's testimony of the 4th of September 2023, where he said that he arrived at the police station handcuffed. ZWANE says a police station. He was taken to a police station. Mkhulu said they took him to their offices. So is a police station and the offices the same thing?
No.
But Advocate BALOYI is saying that the testimony of ZWANE and the testimony of Mukhola is saying the same thing. SBIYA said that he did explain what happened, that they left from such a place to such a place and all of that. So BALOYI now went to the AVL of the Toyota Fortuner for the 31st of May 2020. At 18:07, ignition was switched off at Katlehong, and 20:05, the vehicle stated driving, meaning that it was there for 2 hours. And he asked SBIYA if he had any comment that the police were there with him for 2 hours. And SBIYA said no, he doesn't agree with that because he was not being driven in a Fortuner on that day. So BALOYI read Mukhola's testimony, all of it, into the record until where she said they went to Eraton, then went to AVL's at 22:31:21. The vehicle was started up. The engine was switched on near Guy Gibson Avenue. No, switched off near Guy Gibson Avenue, Eraton, Johannesburg South at 20:05:08. So the Fortuner was at Eraton, which is why SBIYA is saying he was not in the Fortuner because they took him to Valeria. Or did he say Tembisa South? I think he said Tembisa South.
I wanted him to continue with the Fortune AVL reading until they went to put Muzi back. But unfortunately,
at no,
he doesn't.
He stopped at Eratin. Or was it Tembisa South? He stopped at Tembisa South. He didn't.
I wanted to see because, I mean, there is a way of verifying some of the things.
Now he stopped at Victoria Street in Germiston, 22:51. The engine was switched off. He said this is confirmation that they went to DPCI offices for Colonel Mohlamme to take ZWANE's statement. And he asked for a comment from SBIYA, for the movement of the Fortuner, as he was not in the Fortuner. SBIYA said he was not in the Fortuner, so he can't comment on that. But he went back to the testimony of ZWANE, where he said 3 people came to him, and the third one was a SBIYA. Nisi objected, saying that this is repetition. The witness has already answered that. SBIYA said that there are many SBIYAs in this case, and he's not referring to him because they do not know each other. There are many SBIYAs in this case. That's a good one. They then took him to Tembisa police station at Tembisa South. After 11 o'clock, SBIYA said they told him he was getting charged for possession of ammunition. They did not even bring the said ammunition to court, according to SBIYA. Now, after the long adjournment, BALOYI was now questioning Muzia about the Tembisa case. And on the warning statement for the Tembisa case, it said, I, Vusi's Temba SBIYA. And SBIYA said he's not Vusi. It means the person that...
The mistakes that these people were making, they're just disturbing.
Vusi.
And these are mistakes that wants us to believe that this man signed eventually. And he was writing this thing. But the Vusis and whatnot...
That Tembisa case needs to be...
revisited.
Yeah. That Tembisa case, icon. Vusi. Evana. SBIYA confirmed the signature as his, and he said that when a police officer tells him to sign, he signed. Okay, as to what he was signing, he was not told. BALOYI then asked him about the language between SBIYA and the bank.
Man, this is just a crazy situation. I can't believe that we are at that point. And then the judge is part of this. The judge is the one who started this whole thing.
He's enjoying the torture. He's the one who started. He hinted a couple of days ago, telling the court that you can withdraw money. You can read an ATM in English. In the bank, do you consult in English? I heard you were using big words, eh? Even lawyers don't use that words. Yay! Hey! Amahambe washa leya robe leya. It needs to be washed. I don't know why he's not washing it. Okay, I'll withdraw. SBIYA said that when he withdrew his money, he does use the English option. Guys, have you tried using Venek for withdrawing money in the ATM? I tried using ZWANE this other day. Mission abort. I was like, huh? I stood there with the ATM that long time trying to understand what is going on. So I know a lot of people don't use Venek for withdrawing money. It's not as straightforward as English. They use the words, the jargon, that have words that I don't think we use on a daily basis. Right? So if in Zulu it would say maybe Kadi, it's going to say the name or try to use a name. Yes. So you spend quite some time reading there. I don't know, Mr. Nose, maybe the experience is different for you.
I've never.
You've never used it in Zulu? I tried using Sepedi and Soto at some point. I was like, yeah. What have I done? What have I done? Because I don't understand. So yes, SBIYA says he uses English to withdraw money. And when he speaks to a consultant, he speaks in Zulu. So BALOYI said that he transacts in English. So he is conversant in English. And SBIYA said he did not know English to that level, which is why he's using an interpreter.
And they decide to misinterpret him. Lindy Wepembe, thank you. Sugar Charlie, thank you very much. God bless you guys.
Siyabonga, guys. Thank you. So SBIYA said the English at the ATM is simple. And I agree. As a person who tried using Setswana, Sesotho, and Sepedi, I tried all three of them. I was safe because it was still at campus. I would never try that at a mall or in a public place. I tried it on a campus because I knew, okay, no one is behind me or anything like that. The campus ATM. I did not dare try it in a mall or at a CBD. Don't do it. SBIYA said that the English at the ATM is simple, and knowing how to put in a card and how to withdraw is pretty much straightforward. And he said he can only speak simple English. Well, he said that a person in standard, if you ask them what is mom, or a person in standard 1, for example, if you ask them what is the term for umama in English, they'd be able to say mother, but it does not mean that they can have a fluent English conversation just because they know the word in English, right? Right. Well, BALOYI said, is it true that you use the word traumatic ordeal? This one came direct from the judge. SBIYA said, I said I was traumatized. I never used that word that you put there in the end. I don't even know what it means. And he said, just like I said, there are English words I know and some I don't know. So SBIYA also lamented as to how he's now being questioned on the Tembisa case, the related matters, what happened in the trial of Tembisa case, when he is a witness in the witness box testifying on the death of Senzo. He said he's being questioned on Tembisa matters that he responded to at the Tembisa trial and court and case. So if the prosecutor wants to know about what happened in the Tembisa matter, they can go and get the transcripts and read them and find out what happened. He has a point.
Yeah.
We cannot deny that he has a point. He has a point. Why vele is he being made to go through a warning statement, a charge sheet of a completely different case? Where is the charge sheet of this case?
Zandile, thank you. God bless you. Nkulunkulu abusise aphe andise. Thank you.
Thank you. And in Tembisa, I said he was under oath and dealt with that matter that was held in Tembisa. Now he's being made to testify on 3 different cases in one matter. Baloyi asked if his rights were read to him. SBIYA said he doesn't know any rights. There were no rights that were explained to him. At this point, Mnisi also objected after Baloyi said that his right to legal representation was explained to him, saying his client, Mnisi was saying that his client already said he's here to answer about the allegations that were prepared by the very same state in relation to Senzo. Now he finds himself having to answer to allegations that have nothing to do with this case, but everything to do with what happened in Tembisa court. He said if the state is interested in that, let them go and get the transcripts of what happened in Tembisa, and then they'll get all the information. What he says is what happened at Tembisa case is irrelevant to this case. Okay, as far as this case is concerned, what happened in the Tembisa matter is irrelevant. Baloyi said that he was indicating that his rights were read to him, since the witness is saying his rights were never read to him. Pertaining this case on the 31st, yes, he's right. They were never read to him as well. Because what I'm seeing here is the trickery that is happening. You did not fill in a charge sheet, a warrant of arrest for this case on that day that you arrested him. You only gave it to him in October. But you want to present it as if that took place. It did not take place for this case. It took place for the Tembisa case.
Let's press the like button, please. Thank you in advance.
So Mnisi said, but that is unfair. Those confessions were insofar as the death of Senzo is concerned had nothing to do with the cases he appeared for in Tembisa. So let the state not conflate these two issues. Baloyi said it's not about the merits or demerits of the case. The issues where the right to legal representative was explained. Then he said, Mr. Mgomezulu said, well, Mnisi said, objection. Whether the rights in Tembisa case were explained or not has nothing to do with whether the rights in this case were explained or not. What effect will that have on this case? What happened in Tembisa is totally different, irrelevant with what the inquiry is in this case. Mnisi asked that they confine the issues to what happened to Senzo. Well, the judge said that this was brought to light by Mgomezulu and he wanted to stop him from speaking. He said Mnisi wants to stop Advocate Baloyi from speaking. Let him speak. So when all else fails, we blame a man who is deceased. If we want to introduce weird stuff into the record, we go through the cross-examination of Mgomezulu. Is that how it's going to work now? Mnisi said that whether Mgomezulu brought it or not, it's not about relevance. Mnisi asked for the court to at least try and direct the proceedings. Judge. Well, the judge continued to defend Baloyi and said that SBIYA should tell them what he wanted to say. Well, Mshololo said they are still waiting for the record of Mgomezulu, and Baloyi said that it was on the 5th of June 2024.
Technically, Baloyi lied today.
Did he lie? Did you check?
They did not find any Mgomezulu leading SBIYA on this in terms of what happened in that court.
Tembisa,
yes.
Did they?
No, they didn't.
So why is Baloyi now? He even read the part. He was
After reading,
he
you
was
realize
so serious.
that there's nothing that touches on the nitty-gritties of the cases as he has been.
Mgomezulu asked SBIYA which court he appeared in, and he said Tembisa court. That was it. That was it. Nothing more, nothing about the charge sheet, none of these shenanigans that he's now brought forth. Nisi then said the state is misleading the court. The state says the reason why they were asking this witness whether his rights were explained or not is because that explanation was extracted by Mr. Mgomezulu through him asking whether his rights were explained. And he was trying to refer to a transcript of what happened at Tembisa. In fact, he read where Mr. Mgomezulu was asking that question. Then the judge said he hears him and he is right. Then proceeded to ask BALOYI if the trial did go on, and BALOYI argued that the defense themselves canvassed the Tembisa proceedings. The judge asked that they make progress that can be argued either way, and the matter was finalized in the South African Court of Law. He said that Mr. Macheke could have possibly explained. Mr. Macheke is the lawyer who represented SBIYA in the Tembisa matter of the ammunition that never made it to court, allegedly, according to SBIYA. SBIYA is saying they charged him with ammunition, but that ammunition was never shown or demonstrated in court. And Mr. Macheke, well, he said, the judge, Mr. Macheke could have possibly not explained to his client not to speak a lot of suppositions. It seems like the judge can't hide his irritation for Muzi. And he feels that Muzi is giving long answers. But Brigadier Gininda gave longer answers than Muzi. Muzi's answers I can digest. You know, the ones I had difficulty digesting was Gininda. Gininda gave essays for answers. Thesis. Thesis. And you were quiet. But now Muzi is fighting for his life. And he's repeating things because he's been asked repetitive questions. And you are quiet. You don't conduct the proceedings. You're just sitting there and not participating. Well, Ramasipili said that the questions are irrelevant because Mr. Macheke was there, and as soon as an accused person has a legal representative, his rights are explained to him by them and not by the court. I don't know about this. Here we're talking in terms of the police and the charge sheet. That is their job. When they make you sign a warning statement, they're supposed to explain. It's their job.
No, Ramsipi is talking in court.
Yeah, he's talking about court. So the police detained Muzi for the Tembisa case on the 31st of May and not Senzo's case. And BALOYI somehow, in my opinion, is wanting to represent that warning statement and charge sheet for the Tembisa case as if it was for Senzo's case.
I think BALOYI is overrated.
Is what he's doing ethical, Bazalwane? Is it ethical? People who did ethics in LLB studies, please help us. Minandi lost. I don't know what to call this. Is it allowed to make a witness, like asking them repetitive questions, sending them from pillar to post, asking them one thing, reading an entire record of 5 pages, and then asking them a question, and then asking them that question again, and you don't get the answer you want. Tomorrow you repeat the same question. Are you guys, is this a new thing? Like, Pela?
I really think it's overrated because what he was trying to do is unheard of. In a sense, he's conceding that there might have been an issue where accused was not given or not read or explained his right. And then he goes on to try to legitimize, as they have been doing, finding a cure for it from a different court. which is a different court
Yes.
that has closed the case.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with this case. You don't even need Google for that. I'm not even going to open a book of law for that. I don't have. It just doesn't make sense.
I'm just curious. Okay, guys? You need to help me.
Logically, it doesn't make sense.
5. No, it's 6 now. 6 days. We are going on 7.
You know what? Someone is saying he's a great lawyer. I'm not against that. But I don't know if you have taken time to sort of profile BALOYI, where he started making his name. It was during the apartheid time, right?
It was a case of Terre Blanche.
Terre Blanche, yes.
Terre Blanche's murder.
Not apartheid time. It was during that time.
Terre Blanche was taken out by one of the people that worked for him, and that person had very, very serious allegations against Terre Blanche. Well, the state was representing Terre Blanche, and that's where advocate
BALOYI was on the side of the state.
Yeah, the Pretoria High Court.
So I don't know, man.
That's where he made his name.
I don't know. For me, I haven't seen anything that is wow. Like, if you were to compare these people, considering the experience that BALOYI has, let us compare him to Skakane, for example.
Hayi, uSkakane wakhipha umbenenge.
Would you be able to
Hayi.
stand and say, yeah, I would pick BALOYI?
Hayi Skakane, ngimsapho BALOYI Skakane. Ngimsapho azofunda irecord for 5 days. Ngifuna ukuthi ungitshele ukuthi kwenzakalani. I want to know what happened to Senzo. You're not going anywhere near that.
I don't.
This is what happened to Senzo. BALOYI is going this way.
He has not even asked this guy anything that pertains to that day.
No.
It has been the issue of what happened in 2020.
And it looks like he never will. He never will ask him what happened on the 26th of October 2014. Silindile sonke. It's been 7 days. It's not happening. He's a great
being
lawyer.
on the side of the states, I feel like these prosecutors, sometimes they probably discuss with judges. I'm not saying that is what BALOYI is, but I'm just saying, I feel like the judges, sometimes they come to court thinking they are part of the state. I feel like that.
Yeah,
that's my feeling.
Some judges behave that way. They behave like them and state are one thing. There's a Judicial Service Commission, then there's the NPA, right? Yes, they're supposed to work together to bring justice, but sometimes it feels like the judges are part of the NPA. Sometimes, especially when we are seeing cases that are pertaining people of color and people who are from poor backgrounds. You get that sense a lot. The only time I can be able to distinguish that, there's a difference between the judges and the lawyers is when I'm watching big cases.
Judges who are able to stay in their position as judges.
Yes.
Regardless of the itchiness of entering the tari.
Like that one. SBIYA, General SBIYA, when he was asking to go back to work, I at no point in time felt like judges and lawyers are one. It didn't feel that way.
This one of Senzo case, it's feeling like it's states versus the defense. And in my opinion, I feel like it looks like the judge is on the side of the states. That's how it looks like. But obviously, I could be wrong. The views, I'm just viewing as a person. I feel like he's more supportive towards the states. They could almost finish each other's words and stuff like that. I don't know. Now, does it count this case if you win it like in this manner or that manner? Yeah, but yeah, let's leave it at that. In my opinion, I feel like
Do you think it's time for the NPA to relook how they assess prosecutors, because they are obsessed about someone having a high conviction rate without really looking at the case? It's like all of them are chasing a 90% conviction rate. 90, maybe they should.
It is foolish to look at that. It is foolish. You must look. You must try to align yourself with what they call law. You say you
It's
are
okay
out for the truth,
dismiss
right?
a case.
You want the truth.
I feel like the dismissal of a case should not be considered or be made like it's a loss, especially if you really cannot find evidence against the person.
Yeah.
You don't want to find yourself now doing shenanigans by all means necessary to get a conviction out of little to no evidence. That is just wrong.
If your KPIs is based on winning, then
It sucks.
we are not pushing for fairness there. We are just pushing for do whatever it takes to get the conviction,
Yeah.
which
Which end up
contrary
crafting
to what is supposed to
this thing that we're
is
now
supposed
seeing.
to be read from Rob versus Hepworth.
This is traumatic.
But these opinions are just general opinions. They are not meant for anyone to slander anyone. Maybe we might have been using this case in particular because we are watching it, but it just has. I think I've lost a lot of respect for some of because of the things that are happening in that court. I have lost respect for some people, perhaps. But let's continue, finish up, so that we can go.
I need to finish and sit down. We need to have Absalom Zungu there very soon, as soon as possible. He
That's
can
another
sit
thing
down.
that I think might make issues take long here.
He
If
needs
you
to sit
haven't
down.
found the
We are
angle
over
of
him.
maybe reaching Ubabu Zoom, then you might have to take long to actually create time and space for that.
We are tired. He can sit down now. It's fine. I get. He's gonna stretch this until Friday or next week.
Hey.
How babathong. This is torture, guys. Mina sengicabanga nokuya kwamadlanga lapha ya angeke bafana. Ngizobuya mayiqedile. But SBIYA, well done. You need to stay strong. Mean what you say and say what you mean, okay? You need to remain strong. Don't be tired like us. You can't afford it. You cannot. You're fighting for your life. Continue to fight because you're the only person I'm worried about is Ntanzi.
Forget about Ntanzi. This case might be finished by this, after this witness, and then after the witness brings the witnesses, that's it.
Yeah, ne. Hi. It needs to finish. We are tired now. Awungeke. Phela manje kuphuma igagaba negigaba lapha ya kwami ad hoc committee.
Yeah, let's finish also because I am.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Mr. Anonymous, you said I must wrap it up. I'm wrapping it up.
Yeah, we are done, guys. You're done, right? You were
I
done.
am done.
Okay. I thought you had 4 pages
I'm
to read the
done.
record.
4 pages.
To read on the record, but
And then you read so slowly. Like,
and then there's that thing
Mr.
of teeth. Who's
Babe.
playing with his? Who's doing that? Is that a judge?
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know.
That thing is irritating the hell out of me, man. That thing of teeth. Aye. But many people were right. Maybe Mgomezulu. Okay, let me finish it there. Mgomezulu said things I don't want to say anymore. Thank you. Please press the like button, guys. It's a bye. It's a wrap for me. I am super tired.